Hey, welcome back to Bradley Lopez. Today we're going to kind of go back to the original things on my mind, how I used to do it. Back in the day, it was talk about, four or five things and just address those things. I wish I can get rid of this, like, nutsack I have under here. I'm not a big fan of that. So let's talk about something here that's been on the news pretty much every day for the past couple months, and that's the whole transgender bathroom thing. I'm, I see both ways. On one hand, I understand where a person wants to be accepted for who they are. If they're a male and they feel like they're a female, they want to be accepted as a female. I understand it. Okay, they want to be able to use the restroom that they feel most comfortable with. Again, I understand. On the other hand, I understand people's concerns and their thought process of, if you're born with a penis, you should be in a men's restroom. If you're born with a vagina, you should be in a female's restroom. Again, I understand both ways on it. There was an incident, I want to say today or yesterday, where a gentleman went into the female bathroom and choked an 8-year-old girl. And I think that's one of the concerns that people are having. It's not necessarily anything against transgender people. It's the fact that there are certain people out there that will try to take advantage of the situation. There might be a gentleman who goes into the female bathroom and just sits there. Some people don't understand that you don't necessarily have to have the sexual contact in order for a person to get off, if you want to say that. You don't have to have that sexual contact. It's the just being there and knowing that you're doing wrong. That brings up that some people just get off on that, like a peeping tom. Okay. Now, the other aspect of this is that before all this was talked about, we don't know if there was a transgender person in the bathroom. If there was a guy that was in there taking a piss before my wife went in there, we don't know. But again, I think it's just the worrying that somebody with the wrong intentions is going to take advantage of this. Again, look, like I said, what happened in Chicago when this guy choked this 8-year-old girl. So this is going to be a crazy, crazy discussion. One of the other things that really irritates me right now, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but it's the entitlement generation and even some of the Generation Xers thinking process of, if you don't agree with them, then you yourself is either a racist or you're a bigot, or you're uneducated. I cannot tell you how many people with Donald Trump, these entitlement generation, they called Donald Trump supporters racist. And I'm like, what? Because you agree with somebody, you're automatically a racist? I mean, seriously. Let me jump on my soapbox here. I'm a Trump supporter. I don't agree with everything the guy says, but I do agree with some of the things he does say. I'm Mexican American, and I cannot tell you how many times I've been called an Uncle Tom, or I've been called uneducated, even though I have a bachelor's and a master's degree. I've been called racist. Really? When I speak of the entitlement generation, it's actually kind of funny to me because I've seen it listed as the time period of 1979 to 1994. I was born in 1979, but with that aspect, I'm also part of the Generation X, because I think Generation X goes to 1982, maybe. or maybe 1981. But I don't have anything against these young kids, and actually, maybe it's due to jealousy because they're getting everything so easy, where we had to bust our butt. But I mean, we created the mess that we have today. Um, Giving these kids awards for finishing a sport, not coming in first place. They can come in last place, but we still gave them an award, a participation award. Passing these kids through school, even though some of them are dumb as hell because of No Child Left Behind. Uh, Telling them that it's not their fault that they're not getting a better grade. It's the teacher's fault because she's not teaching it correctly. So one of the other issues that I have right now is the way people want to change our history. The United States is very, very rich in their history. We have made tremendous accomplishments. And I understand, though, that there is a dark spot in our history when it comes to the way we've treated our own people, or African Americans, or Native Americans, whatever. Hispanics. Everybody has had their time in the United States to be treated like crap. But that's history. We learned from it. We grew from that. But now you have a perfect example is the Confederate flag or Confederate statues of the Confederate soldiers. And now people want those removed because people get offended. The word offended or offensive is so worn out. It's like the word racist. If I tell you that I like to sleep in the dark because the room is black, then somebody would probably say I'm racist. And that sounds so stupid. But that's the kind of society we live in today. So to remove the history from our schools and from our books, kids are going to repeat the negative stuff because they don't know that it's already happened and that we've moved past that. You want to take away the Confederate flag. All right. But then you're gonna allow an ISIS flag to be flown. You're going to allow a Black Panther flag to be flown. You're going to allow a Black Lives Matter stuff to be flown, a banner, whatever. But you're going to remove a Confederate flag because somebody is offended because of all the bad things that happened with the Confederacy. That's our history. That would be like me as Mexican American wanting all of our suits to be destroyed. Men cannot wear suits anymore because of the Zoot Suit riots that happened in the 40s. I believe it was the 40s, where the Mexicans would wear the suits and get dressed up nicely, and then you had the Navy when they would come off and dock off their ship, and they would get into fights. I want to say it was in California. And fight the Mexicans, and they would rip off their suits, the Zoot Suit riots. But that's part of history. You learn from it, you grow. And these people today that want to, I'm scared to see what our history books are going to look like 20 years from now. It's the history is what made the nation great, and people are just pissing on it. So in closing, let me tell you a little story. When I was in high school, I graduated in '98, and we had to speak to our counselors about what we were going to do after high school. And this particular counselor that I had told me, I don't think you're going to go to college because I don't think you're smart enough. You should go ahead and join the military. And I mean, I wasn't the best student in high school. I passed without the use of Google. So for her to say that, though, for all these years, I was like, you ignorant bitch. And my thinking is this: you never tell a young adult or a child that they're not smart enough. That irritates the shit out of me. Um, every kid and every child is smart. They just need they might need a different way to learn. So, but this or next Friday, the 20th, I am going to be graduating with my master's. I got my bachelor's in business administration. My master's is going to be in healthcare administration. And I would like to take my master's and go back to that high school and just shove it in her face and tell her that she can eat a big bowl of dicks. Yes, I didn't take the traditional route of my friends of going straight to college after high school. I did go into the military, but I did it, and again, she can eat a bowl of dicks. You guys have a good day.